You're afraid to approach women because you're insecure. You don't have confidence, whatever the situation is. We're going to fix that in this video because let me share a little secret with you. Let me explain something to you about women. They have insecurities. Yeah, the same women you're nervous to approach, the really hot ones that you think already have a man or must have a boyfriend or a husband or something like that, the ones you think are out of your league, they've got doubts, they've got fears, they've got hang-ups, just like you. In fact, most women are more insecure about how they look, how they're perceived, and whether you even find them attractive than you are about approaching them. So here's the truth. If you understood how common women's insecurities are, you'd stop hesitating and you'd start connecting. So in this video, I'm going to help you understand these and how to make it all work to your advantage. Insecurities next.
Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds.
I'm MarcusVanHorne, date coach on a mission to help men build and refine their skills needed for dating and finding success with women. So if you're looking to level up your game when it comes to women and dating, hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell so you don't miss when I post up new content. Let's get into it. Okay, so you hear me talk about how women are insecure, right? Now, maybe you knew that already, or maybe you don't, but let's get into it. Let's just look at some of the data regarding just how insecure women really are. Studies back this up. A 2023 Dove self-esteem study found 87% of women feel insecure about their appearance at least once a week. While Psychology Today reports 70% of women avoid social events because they don't feel attractive enough. So this means that women at the coffee shop, the woman at the bar, a party, walking down the street, she's worrying about her outfit, her hair, or if she seems interesting enough for men like you. And as soon as you understand this, you're suddenly at an advantage. Now, before we get into how this can be advantageous to you, let's just first look at and examine some of the biggest insecurities women have. Their body and weight. Constant. I mean, you hear women say it's almost cliche. They're either too thick or too thin, too skinny, too fat, their butt's too big. They're concerned about that. It's either too big or too small. Same thing with their breast, right? Too big, too small, too whatever. They're constantly thinking about these things. Their skin, if they have good skin, have bad skin, did they break out with something? Did they have a rash, something, a pimple? Their teeth, are their teeth too white? Are they not white enough? Are they straight enough? Blah, blah, blah. Is that one tooth that's always been bothering them when they smile? Is that something standing out to you, right? Their facial features, aging and wrinkles. If they're older, if they're above 30, they're probably thinking about that already, especially if they're over 40, they're definitely thinking about aging and wrinkles and crow's feet and all these different things. They're using different skin creams and coming up with all these solutions for beauty. They're thinking about how they compare to other women. Competition in the room. When a woman goes out, she is basically, women get dressed and yeah, they put their whole face on and do all their stuff for men, but you will be surprised at how they are really competing with the other women around them. Their hair, their makeup, whether or not they should have done that smoky eye or whether their contour or their shine is put in the right place and how they got it done and whether they should have wore that color lipstick, whether they should have wore a matte or a gloss and whether it matches the right stuff, right? And of course, they have fear of rejection the same way we do. Even the model type women that you think are perfect, like those are usually the ones that have the most issues. They have moments of doubt too. Now, let's just try not to be insensitive to all this, right? As men, we need to remember that it is as it's tougher as it is for us out there, it's also a tough world for women, and they're often judged strictly by their looks, right? And that's kind of how men see them first. We see them based on their looks. We see this in advertising, media, film, TV, and especially in this latest social media world, right? The flawless, gorgeous influencers and all the models out there keeping up with the Kardashians, where everybody is perfect. Everyone's got a BBL. Everyone's got perfect body. Everyone's got sculpted abs. All these women that you're seeing online, they are all, as much as the men are looking at all these women and we're overwhelmed, like, oh my God, it seems like every single woman is flawless these days, right? Women are feeling the same way as from a competitive standpoint. Like, man, like they have sometimes unrealistic standards, and it's not even healthy, right? You think about how it's affecting teenage girls and how they're looking at all these images of perfection online, which is often not really perfection, but it's actually influencer perfection from the standpoint of Photoshop and AI now and all sorts of other approaches when it comes to the camera and lighting that make everything look so good. I'm not saying there's no good looking women on there. I'm simply pointing out that a lot of it is an illusion, and women try to keep up with this. So women have a whole bunch of insecurities. So How do you use this to your advantage? Like, how do you use this to your knowledge? Well, first, you're able to approach them with much more confidence, right? You're already ahead of most of the guys who hesitate if you're aware of the fact that this woman who you want to approach is suffering from a whole bunch of issues. She's got things going on in her head, right? If you treat them like goddesses the moment you see them and treat them like you want to bow down and think that they're perfect and you need to impress them, that's a problem. That has something to do with confidence. And I talked about that in one of my videos. If you haven't seen that, definitely check the link here for that video and watch that video on confidence, because that changes everything as well. Adding to that, if you realize that, hey, she's a human being, she's got issues, right? It's going to change the way you approach them. You're going to approach understanding she's human and understanding she's got flaws. She's not as perfect as she looks on the outside. Inside, she's got some things going on. Some of them more than others, but that's another whole story. Now, how you deal with that when you meet a woman, when you approach her, you just need to make sure that you compliment when you come through and you compliment a woman, right? This whole adage of flattery works and flattery will get you everywhere, right? It's actually true, right? Again, women are feeling some way about their lipstick, their hair, their makeup, their wig, their weaves, their extensions, how it all works, how it's all put together, the dress, whether their shoes fit, whether their ass looks too big, whether their breasts look too big, how much did you put out? Do I look like a hoe? Do I not look like a hoe? All these things are going through their minds, right? So if you come at them with authenticity and they can feel that, you focus on something genuine. You make her laugh, her style, her vibe. You approach her and talk about something along those lines, right? That whole thing about flattery is going a very long way, provided you know how to deliver it. Now, also, the other important thing here is you need to be able to look for cues, right? Gentlemen, you have to start to study women. This is a recurring theme on my channel, and I'm just getting started. But you have to study women. You can't get good and master women and get good at dating them and attracting women if you don't study them. You have to watch how they act alone. You have to watch how they act in groups of friends. Don't be creepy about it, but you need to watch when you go into a particular place, watch the way a young lady is interacting with her friends. Is she the shy one? Is she the loud one? Is she the life of the party? Is she the one making all the, is she flirting with guys as they walk by? She's touchy-feely. You need to pay attention to all that. Is she the one ordering all the drinks for everybody? She's always getting the rounds. She's talking to the bartender, or is she playing back in the cut and she's kind of quiet? You got to pay attention to these things. Get a feel for their energy. If she fidgets a lot, for example, right, or adjusts her clothes, or she looks away when you make eye contact with her, she's probably nervous. These are telltale signs that she's got things going on while you're talking to her. She might be super attracted to you, which again is another whole video about looking for signs on whether or not a woman's attracted to you or not. But rest assured, if she's fidgeting with her clothes, she looks away when you make contact with her, she is definitely going to be a nervous woman. Now, when you're in a situation like that, you want to make sure that you lead the interaction. Women often hesitate because of their own doubts, right? Like they're fearful of, what should they say? What should they not say? Again, it's a serious, I cannot stress enough, it is a burden for them being women, because they have to think, even if they are attracted to a guy, they don't want to come off too slutty, too forward. They don't want to flirt too much. They got to just reel it in just the right way, right? So you got to make sure as a man, you lead that interaction, guide the conversation, and keep it fun. If you can get her to relax, you'll have a much better time approaching them, right? Here's the mindset shift. Most guys put women on a pedestal, right? You see them, you're like, oh, I got to approach her. But in reality, she's thinking, am I pretty enough? Do I look good? How's my body? I wonder what type he's into. Am I interesting enough? Am I worth this guy's attention? Especially if they're attracted to you, especially if you're that man, if you're that high value man, which I talk about in a different video. When you come up to her and you have authenticity, you show her that you see her, not just her appearance. And that's pretty much what brings a woman's level of comfort to the right place, right? When she feels like you're not just fascinated with the outside and she thinks that you're talking to her about her, right? That's when she's going to feel accepted and she's going to feel connection. That's when that actually happens. So gentlemen, you have to stop hesitating. You have to. Women have insecurities just like you do. You have to know this. I recall years ago in my early 20s, getting with a couple of females who later on I found out that they were actually interested in me and they'd see me around. They'd see me coming back and forth on the train or on the bus, whatever it was back in the day. And they were like, yeah, I used to see you all the time, but I didn't want to talk to you. They were equally as thinking what I was thinking about them. Like, she's not going to talk to me, but it was actually them who were kind of shy and thinking I would not talk to them. Go figure. Anyway, You have to keep this in your head. You've got to know and not allow yourself to feel anxious about approaching women because you think she may not want you, or because you think she's too good, or you think she's already got somebody. A lot of women want to be approached, contrary to popular belief. What's going on nowadays, right? You got to be careful how you approach. It's a very weird generation, but trust me, approach. There are women who are single. There are people who are struggling. There are people out there. They just want to be approached the right way. And that's what you have to do. That's what you have to master. That is exactly what I'm here to help guide you to do. You need to learn how to approach women. And one of the things that starts with is your confidence and recognizing the fact that they have insecurities. Do not doubt it. Okay? Listen, what's the one thing that stops you from approaching women? Let me know in the comments below. Subscribe, like the video. I'm building a channel, so it helps the algorithm. If you hit the like button, leave those comments. Let me know about your, what you think when you approach a woman. What is holding you back? Are you nervous? Do you think all women have insecurities, or maybe they don't? All right? But share this with somebody who might need the confidence boost, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.